what is it now, nearly 11 o'clock at night, and I thought, well, let's have a chat with you, see what you're up to in the middle of the evening here in Manama, Bahrain, where the weather is quite lovely outside. So let's see your questions, fire them up. I put up a video today, which you probably saw, or some of you would have seen, talking about my predictions for this year. A lot of people asked for it, so I thought, why not? If you're interested enough to ask for it, let's see what we can come up with. Hello to Nate from the UK, lots of hellos. I don't know where any of the drivers are staying, I haven't seen any, so I can't help you with that. Guten Abend, Austria and Deutschland and Portugal. Hey, Portugal, you've done very well with your corona, I see. You've got the cases way down. Certainly a lot better than Italy, and I'm not sure what I'm doing because next week I get my my second COVID injection vaccine on the Monday, and then I'm due to fly out Tuesday to Italy, but I'm not sure I want to go to Italy at the moment because I know you've got a full lockdown come Easter, haven't you? It's going to be interesting. I might change destinations perhaps and go to maybe Greece or somewhere and then go to Imola just before the race. Okay, can you please give me a rating on the pitch quality and the audio? I've got a good microphone in tonight, so I think we should have good audio. But hey, you tell me, what was someone writing here? I bet £1,000 on Max for World Champion. Rightio. You probably would be getting... What would you be getting? You'd be probably getting about $2.70, so your £1,000 would be £2,700 if he wins. Of course, you're going to have to wait quite some time to see if that comes true. When is the F1 opening titles intro coming? No idea. No idea. What else have we got here? Good morning from someone in the morning. Now, where would you be? If it's night here, you would be, gosh knows, you'll perhaps tell me. Italy is in fake hard lockdown. Is that right? You can get away with doing what you want. Are you going to all the races? Well, that's my plan, but who knows? A lot has to go right for me to get to every single race. Lower cases, as does Spain and the UK. Good, good, good. Hello, here's one of my super chats from Fola de Papel. Hope I pronounced your name. Thank you very much from Portugal. Good afternoon in Portugal. I've never been there. I'm very keen to come and have a look. I might come a little bit early, and maybe that big wave is running down on the coast somewhere. I can't remember where it was, but I'm always in that lighthouse in the foreground. If you are on here and want to get your comments seen, get on to Super Chat, and I will ensure that we answer your question or at least acknowledge you. And also, if you didn't realise, you can become a member of this channel and get some discounts. You can also get some exclusive wallpapers, which are high quality, and you can take them off the site, that I only offer to people who are members. Right, someone's done a very long hello and got my attention. Aviation Ethan, good on you. Oh yes, Sam, I just joined, so maybe you've already talked about it, but what do you think about the whole situation revolving around Lando right now? Okay, what are you talking about with Lando? Tell me. Not the Drive to Survive stuff, because that was pretty innocuous, I thought. Or have I missed something today? Because I've been all day sitting in my hotel room editing that bloody video that took forever to do, because there are so many photos. Hello, here we go with Joby TV has become a backer and a member. You should become a member, and I know that some countries will not allow you to become a member. I don't know what they're frightened of, but what's this one up here? Let's have a look. Mike King. Would you ever consider doing like a POV video with like a GoPro strapped to your chest? And then Lance, well, see, we can't record video at the track, so just remember that. We can only do stills. Outside the track, it's fine, but... and somebody asked, could I put a GoPro on the top of my camera? Yeah, I could, but it would only be shooting stills, and not very good quality stills. Would I ever hire an editor? I'd love to hire an editor, but then I just would be worried that I wouldn't get what I want. So thank you very much to Mike King, who is from Britain. There's a pound symbol. Now I've missed another one here that I must have a look at. Mike Akers, do the lack of crowds, empty paddock make your job easier or harder? Well, look, I don't know. I haven't done a race yet with no crowds. And this race is going to have some sort of crowd activity, but nothing like a full stadium. And to be fair, China is almost a race with no spectators, as is this one sometimes. They tend to struggle for crowds, but I will find out on the weekend what it's like. And with regards to the paddock is very clean. There are only a limited number of people in the paddock, and we can't get in, although that may change at some point in the season, but who knows. So thank you, Mike Akers, for your question, and I hope that answers it to your satisfaction. For him making misogynistic comments in a live stream. No, okay, well, there you go. What did he say? And has the world gone crazy? Have people just taken the opportunity to be offended? Okay, thank you for that feedback. Hamburger. I had a hamburger last night at Meat Co. down in... Sorry, they deliver... Tabalat delivers stuff. Fantastic here. It's like the Uber of Bahrain. Do you think Max will win, considering Toto reckoned he found the hair in the suit? I reckon, I've said today he'll win, but you know what? It doesn't matter what I think. All that matters is what happens. But people were asking, so who am I to deny them? Yes, calling out the snowflakes there, love it. Well, I haven't seen what he said yet. I personally think people are taking it way too far, but according to what I've seen, he called a woman it instead of she or he. Yeah, all right, I'm pretty sure. No, well, I shouldn't comment on that because you can only ever come out of that negatively. If best to be silent and let people think they know what you think than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. Did you see the Sandstorm? Yes, I did. It was quite spectacular. What track are you most looking forward to going to this season? I haven't been to Portugal and I haven't been to Imola. Those two hold some sort of appeal, obviously, because they're new tracks, and I will need to get there a little bit earlier to scope the situation. Thank you to the, 370 people who have joined the feed. I appreciate you being here, and if you want to get your comment answered, get onto Super Chat or become a member, but otherwise take a punt that I see it, and they're coming through very quick, as you can see. Do you also take photos of F2? Well, normally no. I don't know any of the drivers. Oh, I know Callum to speak to, and I photographed Robert Schwartzman. But in answer to your question, I will probably this race, because F2 is here, and I know that there was a delay of a flight today with one of the trainers on that. It was delayed 9 hours. But because we can't get into the paddock between F1 sessions, I may actually shoot some F2. Not a lot of it, but I'll certainly shoot more of it than I've ever shot before. Hello from Holland, from Sophie. Do you know Kimi Räikkönen personally? No, I think I've said one thing to Kimi. He's quite hard to find and very busy in the paddock. I cannot donate or become a member. See, Andre, I don't know why some countries are like that. It's not like it's anything perverse or wrong. Hello, Julian Leal's back in. What do you have left to do in Bahrain before the race? Nothing. Just produce videos and kill some time. And I can promise you, these videos kill way too much time. And my finger here, because I'm using a mouse pad, like this is my mouse pad here, it's just constant pressure on it. I'm not whinging, I'm just simply stating what's going on. You're a 20-year-old photographer, says Eden. Always wonder, how do you get started in motorsport? Well, you should go and buy some sort of publication that has huge reach and fulfill the criteria of the FIA, and I'm sure you would get accredited. But there are very few jobs in Formula One, and certainly this is not the time to be starting because there's reduced capacity in the media centre. And I was talking to someone the other day and they were saying that previously there was something like 130 permanent photographers working with F1, and the other day there might have been 40, I think, at the track. and I'm not even sure all of those weren't permanents because there were some locals as well. Hello from Mexico. I love Mexico. I love Mexico City. Please see my super chat. Where did I miss that? How do I see that? Okay, I have obviously missed that. Let me see if I can go back and find it here in the colourful comments. It was a very mild day here, and next week we're looking at race day, 25 degrees with a bit of cloud, but the 3 days prior, is looking fine. Here we go. Aditya Pandey, please ship your books to India. Look, I would, except the company that produces them are in China, and they don't offer that as an option. Not just China, there's a whole host of countries that they've obviously had problems with and won't do it. Unfortunately, I never touch the books. That's the only way that these can be done to actually make them economical, because if they had to come to Australia first and then to India, that just jacks the price up and makes it not worth doing. Where did I study? I studied at high school, and that was it. Do you enjoy Middle Eastern food? I don't think I've had any. I'll be very honest with you. I've been very safe and had stuff that I'm happy with. Oh no, I did have some little samosas the other day that were pretty good. How do you get into media managing for the teams? I've got no idea. I don't know what the career path is for that. You know, it's funny that all these other jobs in F1, there's no real career progression, but as a driver, it's a very clear progression. You go to F4, F3, F2, and then you get into F1. And that's a proven way of getting in. What are we up to now? 443 people. Thank you for that. India Grand Prix thoughts. Never been to one, never had one, never knew anything about it actually. Are you on the Barbie in Bahrain? No, not on the Barbie. I can't become a member, and you're in the UK. Now, why is that? I'm interested to know where members are from. Maybe I wonder if it's something to do with the VPN. Who knows? Oh, my first Peru person chiming in. Hello to you, JM from Peru. I saw you on Netflix. I saw you too looking at me, Lando Ferrari. It's a very brief glimpse, wasn't it? But still, I was only there for one day and one morning, so I was lucky to get my noggin on telly at all. Are the drivers already there? Well, some are there. I see on their social media that, who did I see? Latifi, he's been jogging the track, and someone was riding the track today. Zandvoort banking, I got no idea. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I do want to have a dinner in Zandvoort, and I hope that COVID has calmed down enough that it would allow us to have one of my F1 dinners, because I've got this beautiful room that I want to host a dozen odd people in. Jed Cruz from the Philippines. Gee, there's some Filipino people here in this hotel and many others. Which team has the best merch? Look, I've not seen it. I've not seen anything. Is it even available at the track? In fact, that's a good point, because I will make a point of taking some photos of the merchandise stands and use that in a subsequent video. Somebody's also asked me, what are the cars that the drivers roll up in? And I started taking photos during testing of what they were rolling up in, and I will continue that as this weekend goes on. Best mate in the paddock? Well, who do I get on well with? Mario Renzi. He's not actually in the paddock. We can't actually meet at the track. Ivan from Slovakia. He and I catch up with each other. What else have I got? Are you a Danny Rick fan? I like Dan. I think he's going to come third this year. Somebody laughed and said that they didn't like me because I didn't put their favourite driver high enough on the list. Really? Does it matter what I think? No, it does not. Who makes the track ready before race day with LED screens? There's a mob called Sports Signage that do a lot of stuff. I don't know whether that's the question you're asking, but they have the contract and travel the world with it. Hi, Sweden. Never been to Sweden, but I understand you've got a lot of islands in Sweden. I don't know if I'm a member or not. I would love some wallpapers. If you remember, you would have paid a few dollars a month and you would automatically have the opportunity to download these wallpapers. And recently, just after testing, I put a whole lot more up because I knew people wanted to see the new liveries and the drivers in the new outfits. So they are available for anybody who has joined as a member. You should take more photos of the film crews. Yeah, okay, noted. Favourite F1 track? Okay, I say this every time. I like shooting Monaco. Maybe I should change my mind so it's a different answer. Which is the angle that you use the most when taking photos? There's no angle. It's trickier shooting low because it's uncomfortable. Hello Kenya, Asante Sana, Karibu, Rafiki. What else do I know? What watch am I wearing? No watch today. Julian Leal, what do you want to do after F1? What I did before F1, just continue on in my business in Perth, and I don't know. Who knows how long I'll last at this. It's pretty tough on the body and travelling and being away, but I'm going to give it a good crack this year, and you will inspire me to keep going by following me on YouTube, because that's where I'm spending a lot of my efforts now. Mike Akers, how much attention can you give to the race action on race day? Do you watch the replay later? Yes, I do. It just depends. Sometimes I'll watch F1's highlights at the end of the day when I'm back in the hotel or the apartment. Sometimes I have a bit of an idea of what's going on track because I have earphones in and I can listen to the BBC commentary, but that's not always reliable and it's a little bit tricky. Thank you to the new members who've joined up today. But it's always nice to know what's going on. In fact, what I need, here we go, here's a challenge for someone. I need someone that can be a spotter for me, and just, if you're an avid watcher, and I'm probably going to get flooded with people here, but ideally, because I wear that Apple Watch when I'm out on track, if somebody could say, oh, there's been an incident on turn 2 or something's happening on turn 4, at least I can just look at that and go, yeah, I'm nowhere near that. Oh, I'm near that, I'll go and get that. I don't know how I'd go about picking someone, but it wouldn't pay anything. But maybe you get a couple of free picks out of me or something. Something I've considered for a long time, but haven't actually acted upon. It would have to be easy for me, and something could happen, yeah. Food for thought, hey? You can't get a paddock pass at the Australian Grand Prix. Forget it, Lando Ferrari. It's impossible. Unless you're a sponsor, perhaps. But you won't get in this year. There'll be no one in the paddock. Great stream. Thank you for that. Oh, I tell you what I did the other night. I got onto Clubhouse. Do you know Clubhouse? And I joined in a little chat there. And I thought that was interesting because you don't have to worry about setting up a camera, and the lighting doesn't have to be good. It's all audio. And I thought maybe I should run something on Clubhouse, but I just struggled working out how to get it started, so I didn't bother. If you talk about how did I get into photography? Well, I've always loved photography, and I decided I wanted to do F1, and I managed to meet their criteria and got in. So really, that's it. What's my second favourite track? Okay, what would that be? What I have to do now is go through my head and work out what tracks I like. Nothing comes to mind. I'd have to give that. Clubhouse is a very fun app, yeah. Nikita Mazepin, hate he's been receiving. Your opinions? Yeah, I think that'll die down at some point. Perhaps it's a wake-up call for Nikita. But look, I don't know him. I've never spoken to the man. But it wasn't a good look, and I don't think I'd like to have been doing that and then having that plastered all over social media. I thought it was a bold move for him to post that initially to his friends, and then it got sent out to a wider audience. But anyway, there you go. Is there a raw audio feed you can monitor trackside? No, there's not. No, we listen to BBC, I do anyway, BBC 5 Live through the app. But unfortunately, it's often delayed and then it stops, and it's not reliable. And of course, if there's a big crowd there, the internet is horrendous normally, and it affects two things. It affects the audio, and it also affects us uploading photos to kimellman.com and prostarpics.com. What do you drive back home in Perth? I've got a few cars, including a Jeep, not a Jeep, a FJ Cruiser, which I love. What training routine do the drivers do during the F1 season? You're better off going on to their social media pages and you'll see stuff. I've actually seen a few rundowns, though, of a day's activities for a driver, and it's quite interesting. I perhaps might do a video on that. We'll see. If you want to get your question to the top of the list, and there are 515 people on here, and thank you very much for all of you for joining us, get on to Super Chat, and if you are a member already, thank you for that, and if you're not, you should join up as a member. I tried I had a very poor attempt the other night trying to do a members only chat. Could not work it out, and I ended up giving up. So I will do one at one point, and that will only be for members, and you will get my full attention, and it'll be a very closed little group. So you'll perhaps get a bit more of the inside story that I wouldn't normally share with 538 people. What was that one about Germany? Hello Germany, who is your favourite driver to photograph? Well, that question should be as a permanent here. Well, I used to say Nico, but he's no longer there. I always get looks from, not always, I often get looks from Valtteri, which is good because the photograph is a better photograph when the driver is looking into your lens. Pierre will often look at me, Daniel sometimes. Esteban's great. And look, there's a number of guys I haven't even photographed coming in this year. Like during testing, I didn't see Daniel. I shot Fernando. I didn't see Lewis. He went the other entrance. It's tricky to get them all because they don't always come to the same gate, and we can only stand out the front of the main gate, and the other two gates into the paddock are able to be traversed, but if a driver goes through those gates, obviously we can't be everywhere at the same time. What do you think will happen with the front runners this season? Well, you should watch my video because I've now put my thoughts in writing and come up with some interesting observations and predictions, whether they're worth anything, of course. And as I mentioned in that video, no one is going to have the same set of predictions as me because there are 20 times 19 by 18 by 17 right down to by 2 permutations, and that is 2.4 quintillion options, permutations, and the chances of anyone else having that are infinitesimal. So don't be worried if you think something different to me, because that's the beauty of life. We can all think what we want. 524 people on here. Thank you. I think most I've had is I think 800, and that was on the night last year when the Australian Grand Prix was cancelled. Some noisy people in the background here. Latifi World Champ, yeah, you get very good at $3,000 to 3,000 to 1 of the odds for Latifi World Champ. Who honestly what would have to happen for him to become world champion? That would be bizarre, wouldn't it? Every driver would have to crash every race, leaving him the only one to finish. Do you capture a lot of George Russell? You do not capture a lot of George. I shoot anybody that comes past me. Don't worry about that. And you'll find all of my pictures on kimellman.com. But see, I'll keep 1,000 photos each 4-day race weekend, but I only put up at the most probably 80 on Insta. So you're not going to see 920 photos, maybe 950. If you want to see all of my photos, go to kimellman.com or prostarpics.com, and they are watermarked, but you'll be able to see everything I've shot. F1 doesn't pay for my flights. No, I'm a freelancer. So I do the lot. You could get Sky Go on the phone to watch the race while you're shooting. I can't watch anything. Occasionally I'll glance up at a screen that's nearby, and that's always helpful. Yeah, there's protocols between races, back-to-back races, where we have to effectively keep clean because we don't want to come down with the dreaded lurgy and then ruin it for not only yourself but for others. Cheers from Canada. I don't think we're going to get to Canada this year. I have grave fears about Canada, Australia and Singapore. I just can't see us going to Australia unless we sort out our quarantine rules. Do you think Sir Lewis Hamilton is F1 greatest of all time? He's very good. Hard to beat, isn't he? Don't know if he's greatest of all time. Sushi night at the Rotana downtown is pretty good. Okay, thank you for that. Can Max win the title? As I said today, I think he can. But really, it doesn't matter what we think. It's just we are going to be spectators and we're going to watch these guys do it. Hello to Fola de Papel again from Portugal. Are you the person from Portugal? Genuine question. Are F1 drivers usually rude or not? None of them are rude, I don't think. No. I've never had any one of them be rude. Often, no, never. Lewis is hard to find, but he's never rude, unless you do something stupid, and I've never done anything stupid. So no, I find them all to be gentlemen. You know, I look at especially the young guys, I look at them a bit like young golf pros. A golf pro is always polite to everyone because they need supporters, they need sponsors, and they don't know if you're going to become a sponsor or not. And I found it with all the drivers, just nice people. They're just no different than anyone else, except they have every man and his dog pulling them this way and that. They all want something from the driver, which I imagine is tiring. Right. Are you surprised by the amount of Indian followers? It's actually the number of Indian followers, and yes, I am. What is going on in India? Is someone doing a great job promoting me? Is that the deal? Just excuse me a sec. There we go. Yeah, whoever is spreading the word in India, I'm most grateful for that. Who's your favourite driver? So I need to put up down the bottom. Favourite driver. I don't have a favourite driver. And what is that? A favourite driver to have dinner with, to shoot, to, I don't know. I know a few of them a bit more than others, but I'm not sure I have a favourite. F1 doesn't take my pictures, no. What do you think about Vettel? What, Vettel going to Aston Martin? I'm delighted he's still in the sport. He's a pro, a lovely fella. What TV interviewer do you find most interesting? TV interviewer. I love Ted Kravitz. I love his casual style, and he's always been very helpful to me. He actually wrote a couple of my Women in the Paddock segments for me. I'd contact Ted and I'd say, oh, Ted, this woman here, can you tell me what she does? And so he'd write me back 3 sentences and he'd say, is that good enough for your Women of the Paddock? I said, that's perfect. So I like Ted, but I also like Federica Maslin and Mara San Giorgio. I know them well enough to talk to. Rachel Brooks is also nice. I had a chat with Karun Chanduk the other day out on the track, and I was surprised he knew of me. So I've not spoken to him before, but he was a lovely fella. He asked me whether or not I thought we would be going to Australia, and I told him what I just told you, that I'm not sure that if we've got our 2-week quarantine in hotels deal still running, I don't think there's a hope in hell of us getting into Australia, which is a shame because I need to go back there for an insurance reason. I can't stay away any longer, so I'm going to have to go back there anyway and do some quarantine probably. The Notebook is the absolute best coverage. Utterly bonkers it is. Yeah, and I took a funny photo of Ted the other day. He had a pair of reading glasses like this, and then he had some sunnies on the top. In fact, I'll show you this pic if you give me a second here. Ideally, if I'd had this set up a lot better, I could have actually pumped an output into the feed, but that's beyond me. Who am I looking for here? Ted Kravitz. You just talk amongst yourselves there for a second, and I'm going to end up having to hold this up in front of the screen. This is the shot here. This one here. 2 pairs of glasses. Juggling many things is Ted. Do you think the Grosjean crash changed the public perception of Romain? Yeah, I think so. I know Roman reasonably well. Well, I was shooting for him for a little while. He's just an absolute gentleman, a really gentle guy, and a joy to be around. Cops a fair bit of stick on social media, but he also gives it back, and he acknowledges that he crashes. There you go. Why Mazepin over Mick in your ratings video? Just because that's what I think. And you know what? I'll be right or wrong. Favourite airport? Well, I'm very excited about this one in Bahrain because it's brand new. I think it's several months old, and it is gleaming and shining and monstrous. But otherwise, what do I like? I don't mind. Well, I love the Dubai lounges with Emirates. They're nice. Yeah, I think this one's going to be my favourite. And when I go out, I think going out Tuesday or Wednesday, I think I'm going to go out well early, and I'm going to do a video out there so that you can see it, because I think you will be well impressed. Kupo 22, I use the Canon 1DX Mark III. Why don't I booked at the Sofitel Mohammed, but then I realised it's way out in the middle of nowhere, and I quite love this joint, and they made it almost impossible for me to leave because they gave me 2 nights to give away in a competition and looked after me. So I love that. I like Singapore Airport. Yeah, I go through Singapore a lot. I've got a company in Singapore. Top 3 drivers hardest to get into a picture. Kimi, Lewis. The rest of them are all on a par, but Kimi and Lewis are definitely the hardest. Why have some drivers gone back to their bases? Well, some have had to go back to do simulator work or had sponsor commitments, and others haven't had to do that, hence they've stayed here. Would you run a series to interview drivers? I don't think I'd get any access to drivers, although I did interview Roman once, and that was lovely. They're very hard to get the teams to agree. I don't have much of an audience, so, well, it's a growing audience, but maybe it's not big enough yet. Get F1 TV or live timing and have a track map. I can't do that. Not allowed to. That's all very proprietary. Do you think Haas will exist in 10 years? No idea. How are you filling in your non-track days? As I said before, it takes about 7 hours to do a video like the one I put up tonight. So that's how I'm killing a lot of my time. Here we go. Here's a super chat. Tom Barrett. Just a pound symbol, and thank you very much, Tom. You seem like a fine man. I like the way that it highlights your comment and gets my absolute attention for that moment. So if you want a question answered, get on to Super Chat. And at the same time, I'm also getting questions coming through that I can see on the screen here from my YouTube video that I put up tonight, which I only decided to do yesterday. And my other business, Lavia Aurora, is Messages on Hold. So if you go to messagesonhold.com.au, that is the company that I started 30 years ago and is still running and doing very nicely. Yes, I plan to go to all the races, Desmond, and I apologise because the camera is here, isn't it? But I'm having to look over here, so there's a little bit of an eye line difference. But hopefully this audio is good because I've got this lovely microphone. Thoughts on VB Longneck? I don't drink beer. VB, for those who think VB is Valtteri Bottas, it's not. It's Victorian Bitter, which is a famous beer in Australia. Your actual name that you have on your passport, is it a shortened version? No. Kim is my first name. Which was your first camera? I can't remember. Favourite shot to take at the GP? I was quite smitten with those shots that I took the other day out at turn 4 through the gap with the palm trees behind, and got the attention of a couple of drivers, which is always nice because they do see a lot of pictures of themselves. So I thought that was a nice picture, and I put some time in there to make sure that they were good. But there is a shot here this weekend in the night sessions with the Ferris wheel behind, because they're putting up a Ferris wheel and a whole lot of amusement rides out in the paddock behind the area behind the grandstands. Do you hold back any photos from the website? No, I do actually, quite a lot. Really good ones. that I don't want people pinching, and I use them for my own purposes, or I sell them on to different publications. Do you think Kimi will retire this year? If I was a betting man, I'd say yes. How do you get into F1 as a mechanic? No idea. What's the daytime temperature? Today, beautiful, about 20. Well, actually, you know what? I didn't go outside today in the day. I spent almost, I didn't go out once until I went out to go and grab something from the shop about 2 hours ago. But today, quite mild, 25, 26. And we have we have 36 next week, but 36 is doable. I had a 44-degree day here. First year I came in 2017, and it was unbearable. What fixed focal lengths do you use? I've got a 600, but I also take out sometimes an 85. And what else have I brought? There's another one I brought. 135. Why is F1 TV blocked? You tell me. Am I a betting man? Occasionally I have a bet. My son's a betting man, and he doesn't mind a punt on the races. F1 races. Do teams ever buy your shots? No, teams don't buy them. They have their own photographers. They've all got a contract with a photographer or a photography house. No, I don't have an all-time favourite livery, Victor. Which track you're looking forward to attending? I've said that before. Portimao, hello. Portimao and Imola, because I've not been to either. Says Kaka Silva from, what's NOK? What currency is that? I like your videos. Did you ever visit Norway? Well, there you go. And advice for startup drinking shake. Any advice for startup drinking shake? What does that mean? Never visited Norway. No, and I don't know why I would go to Norway. What would drive me there? Do you have the Northern Lights? If you have the Northern Lights, that holds a certain amount of appeal for me. But obviously that needs to be in the middle of winter, and I'm back in Australia in summer. But thank you very much for grabbing my attention. And if you aren't a member of this page, please join as a member if you're able to, because you get some wallpapers and discounts. And I'm going to do a members-only chat when I work out how the bloody thing operates. V8 racing at Sandown. I've been getting some alerts about that. Never been to Sandown. I've been to Bathurst, but not for the V8s. I went there for the Bathurst 12-hour, where I put a car in. I didn't drive, but it was my race car. And we came 5th or 6th, I think, in the 12-hour. When did you do safari in Africa? I was there for 26 weeks over 3 or 2.5 years, going back about, I did my book in I can't remember now. It was a long time ago, but very enjoyable and loved it. Kyle McCotter. Does everyone know Kyle? Kyle is famous for being a super chatter on my page. What do you think about 2 races in the US in coming seasons? Good. Good for the US, and obviously nice for us because we all speak English, and you guys speak a form of English which we can understand, so that's great. I like the idea of Miami. It's a hell of a bloody journey to get to from Australia, but that aside, if I'm out of the country, it doesn't matter where it is. Thank you, Kyle, for your question. And have I ever been to India? Yes. I went to Mumbai and I went to Bandar National Park, and I shot tigers with a camera and thoroughly enjoyed it. Very hot. Didn't much like the food there, but it was an excellent adventure. And I really liked the laundry in Mumbai, the outdoor laundry, sensational. Hey, handball spieler, danke, you've become a backer. And you've got your emoji. You get a little emoji when you join as a member. That's nice. Will you visit Zandvoort? Well, I plan to go to every race. Let's see what happens. Any good inexpensive microphones for YouTube? Yeah, get the Rode. What is this one? NTG mic? Can't remember what it cost, but it wasn't a lot of money. And I've got an audio production company, and I'm paying big money for my Sennheiser mics. But this is fantastic. I'll show it to you. Shall I? No, I won't be bothered because it's tricky to get off. Thank you to those new members. Thank you to those people who have super chatted. You don't have to pay for a media pass, no. What is your favourite shot you have ever taken? Daniel coming onto the grid. Germany, 2019. A new member? Oh, we've already done that. Handball Spieler from Deutschland, ich denke. Do you prefer to shoot? And then it disappeared off my screen. Some noisy people just arriving in here. Would you ever come to Scotland? I don't think so. I don't know why I would go to Scotland, because I'm not a very good tourist, so I need to go there for a reason. Yes, I've just heard, Caitlin, that he said something that somebody didn't like. Never mind, you know what, we're all going to recover from it, and there are more important things in life. Ich spreche ein bisschen Deutsch, and I'm quite good at English. They're the two languages. And I can speak a handful of phrases in some other languages, probably about 12 phrases in French. And I normally can say hello, goodbye, and thank you in most languages of the countries that we go to. Are you bald by choice? Yeah. No, not by choice. No, my father's got to blame for that. Team principal to shoot. I like Gunter. He's got a lot of character. Shoot cars with or without halo? Without halo, but I don't mind that they have them. Never been to Croatia. Hello, goodbye. But I was thinking about going there with this Italy thing, to spend 9 nights there instead of in Italy, because I understand Croatia's just across the water, but I don't know. Hi from Cape Town. Thank you, Lorenzo. 528 people, that's nice. Any more news on the anti-doping agency's investigation? No news at all, Gregory. Do you have a dream watch you would like to own? Yeah. Yes, Rory. I think I'm going to get a Batgirl, a Rolex Batgirl. I've got my name down, and I'm probably going to get a new Daytona as well. So we live in hope for those, because there are waiting lists for that. Are you making any more appearances in Drive to Survive? That would be... No, I know I'm not, because I was only in episode 1. Because that's the only day I was at the track, and they don't come to your house to shoot photographers. Please tell us about your business in Perth. Shivam, just have a look at messagesonhold.com.au. You'll understand all of it. It's an audio production company that I started when I got sacked from a TV station in 1988. It has been going for 33 years now, and has been an absolute dream of a business. And I worked as hard as I'm working now in F1 back then on Messages on Hold when we first started, and made no money for many years, and now I don't work very hard, and it turns over a good quid. And that's what a lot of people in life don't realise. They say, oh, I want to earn a lot of money. Yeah, well, you need to do something for a long time and not earn a lot of money first in order to earn more money at the end. So that's something that people don't like to hear. But I'm lucky enough to get out to do the things that I love to do. And obviously it's having some sort of impact on you, because you're liking the videos and you're liking the images. So thank you for your enthusiasm. Where's that? Oh yeah, that's over there. Which vaccine? Oh, vaccines here in Bahrain. You can have a choice of 5. It's like going to a bar. I had the Pfizer, and my second dose is coming on Monday week. No, it's coming next Monday. But interestingly, a good friend I was chatting with today was saying that he'd had COVID, and as a result, he only has to have 1 dose of the Pfizer, because he's already, I guess, the second dose. The first dose is his first, you know what I'm saying. Are you into any other sports, and would you want to become a photographer in those sports? I don't mind Aussie rules footy, but I wouldn't want to go and shoot it. I'm just happy shooting this. Why don't you use the R5? Because I don't like it. I don't know it. I've got an R, but I wouldn't use it. I just don't like it. It's too small for a start. Favourite car? Don't have a favourite. Well, yes I do. The Ferrari I like to shoot, because to me it pops on the screen. And if you have a look at my video I did day 2, 3 ago, you will be able to see more of my thoughts. Thank you, Eduardo. Loves the content. Well, I'm delighted that you love the content, because it's always a grind working out what the hell I'm going to put up today that I think somebody might have interest in. Do you ever saw a perfect moment for a photograph before? Yeah, well, I not forgot to photograph it. I was photographing some fighter jets dropping bombs on a bombing range north of Perth, and I was using an 800mm lens, which is, well, it's very large and it's the biggest lens made, quite heavy, and I had it on a monopod, and I had in the viewfinder I had the plane, and the bomb had just dropped, so it was less than the height of the plane below, and I just didn't push my finger quick enough and I missed it. Oh, thank you very much. We have a new member. We should have some sounds go off for Joseph. Where are you from, Joseph? Tell us. You've got your little emoji there, thank you, and then you can go and access a handful of, at least 6, I think I put 7 up, 7 wallpapers the other day, and they are high quality shots that would look good on your computer or phone. 574. Can we get to 600? Could you please ring your mates? Endurance racing. Yeah, I wouldn't mind photographing the 24-hour of Le Mans. That would be interesting. Don't know how you go about getting accredited for that, and I think it runs on the same weekend as an F1 race. I'm pretty sure I had a look. Is Australia too wild? Australia is wild. It's quite amazing. Like, we have snakes sometimes in our house in Lancelin, but certainly around the deck, and I've had foxes at the back door. Yeah, it's an amazing place. Have I thought about the Nürburgring? Yes. I thought about actually going and renting a car and driving it one day. But that's all I've done is think about it, not actually actioned it. I wouldn't mind an ice cream right now. Camera set up for Saudi Patriot missiles. Yeah, we were discussing that tonight. I was with someone having a chat, and we said that's an interesting thing to get your head around, that not only might the place be dangerous in terms of muggings, but they might lob a bomb on you. So hopefully, well, obviously Saudis were pretty good because they intercepted that, didn't they? Does Moco still get around? Well, no one's in the paddock at the moment. It's only essential people in the paddock, and we're not essential. Does Kimmy talk to anybody? Yeah, he does. I caught him having a lovely chat with Gunther Steiner one day and got some nice pictures of it. Yeah, he talks to people. He's just, well, I imagine he's just, oh, excuse me, that's no offence to you. Yeah, he's just a pretty quiet sort of guy. I like him. I think he's fun. We Skype called once. How excited are you that F1 is back? Did we Skype call, Jake? Yeah, I'm very excited that it's back. I'll tell you what I'm excited about. When I left Perth, I had 72,400 YouTube followers, Jacob, and now I've got 81,400, and that's in 14 days, and that's without a race. So I'm thinking this could go very nicely. I definitely think I'll be at 100,000 in April sometime. And of course, if you know anything about YouTube, you get a lovely plaque when you get your 100,000th subscriber. Nice if I had 100,000 members. That would be great. Fund some of this travel. Yeah, 100k this year. It'll be April, Jamie. Don't worry about that. I'll make sure of that. Green Mercedes. I can only talk about the colour scheme of it, as I said in my video I did recently. It's hard to photograph when it's the dark side. When it's in the bright sun, it really sparkles and looks nice. And you probably would have seen that there was a little bit of a mention about that paint job on Drive to Survive in one of the later episodes. Is Lando as shy as he comes off as? No, he is very sharp and funny, especially with Jack from Ziggo Sports. He's mature beyond his years. In fact, all of these guys are. They're well coached in the media side of things, and I'm aware that they have meetings to go through talking points, but it was nice that we got to see those meetings on Drive to Survive. And the drivers are directed and tested as to what they'll say when they get asked this question. And I've done that too when I've done media launches, when I did the launch with Shane Warne, because I sponsored Shane Warne for 5 years with my business. We had a media expert with us, and he would just grill us. They're going to ask you this, how are you going to handle that? No, don't say that, say this. Okay. Which is good, because you don't want to be put on the spot. You want to know where you want to take the conversation, because politicians are brilliant at it. When they go and have a press conference, they don't care what the question is. They're going to answer whatever they want, whatever their top of the list important things. How do you like the Ziggo guys? They're great. I'm kind of quite rude. Oh, well, I see a different side. I don't ever watch them on telly because I obviously don't speak that language. But Jack and Ollie are both great. I have good friendships with them. Ever talked to Zach Brown? No, haven't spoken to Zach. Hello from the Caribbean, from Trinidad. Trinidad and Tobago. I always remember that when they were announced going into the Olympics. Merck looking weak. Perhaps not as strong as many might have thought. I'd like to think we get a good championship fight, KME Gaming. That would be lovely, wouldn't it? It's just been rather boring with Lewis winning. And I know that there are markets often, bookmakers often come up with odds markets without the favourite. If it's a red-hot favourite, they take that out and say, we're not going to worry about that, that's going to win. So who do you think is going to come best of the rest? Where is the worst place to photograph? China. China. Hello from Slovakia. Hello to you. Which track would you like to shoot at? Nothing comes to mind. Favourite cricketer? Warney, because I know him well. In the Netherlands, they are too uncomfortable on TV. Okay, well, you would know better than me, Marcel. I'm going to have to acquiesce to you on that. But obviously they're reasonably well followed because they're in the paddock all races, aren't they? I mean, the first time I met Jack, or talked to Jack, was at the German Grand Prix in Hockenheim, when he gave me the secret on how to get out of the car park and not have to wait hours in the traffic. So I was most grateful to him. Hello, Alex. No, Apex Predator. It's a mean name. Good morning in the Philippines. In your line of photography, would mirrorless replace DSLRs? Now, I was talking to a very prominent photographer tonight, a Canon shooter, and he says that the 1DX Mark III is the last of the reflex cameras. It's all going to go mirrorless. But until it does, I'm not going to worry. I'm going to keep shooting because I love that camera, and I think the Mark III gives me much better photos than the Mark II ever did. And the Mark II was good. Where do you tend to shoot in Monaco? Tunnel's good. Entry, exit. Exit of the tunnel I love. Sometimes I go up onto buildings. Yeah, I get around. Favourite car? To photograph as per my video, Ferrari. Please go and watch that video. It's a good video, and I'll give you my reasons. Do you think the Spanish GP will be more interesting now that testing didn't place there? I'm not sure. I don't know the answer to that question. I know that Spain's had some good results too in COVID, so maybe that might free up a little bit. What made you predict Nikita over Mick? I thought that might happen. Let's see what happens. Any news about Cyril? What's the story about Cyril? Have I missed something there too? Once again, I've just have had my head in this computer the whole day editing. Hence, I've not had a look at what's been making the news, including Lando. Poor Lando. Do you move around during the race? Yes, we do. We move around a lot. And here, shivers. Here at this track, we have buses, and the beauty of that is that we can just call up the bus and say, right, come and pick me up here, please. I would like to go over there. And it just happens. So that is a real positive thing for us. Do I miss Tyler? Yes. Well, it's probably too early yet. And Jace, they're my two boys. But I speak to them often. How do I make money with Nathan, don't be distracted about the money. The money looks after itself. There are a number of ways that you can gain income from this, and it doesn't have to be the traditional way of selling an image. What's this person doing? 500-600. What's that? That's an interesting thread of comments there from Thomas Hill. A whole lot of numbers. Is that a lens? Is that what you're asking? Why is it hard to get a shot of Lewis? Because he doesn't come in the same entrance as the others, and he does this a lot. For some reason, I don't know. But yeah, he's not as open to say, like an Esteban Ocon, he's great. He'll look at every camera and wave, and he's just a happy sort of guy, happy to be out there. 600 viewers. Oh, okay, yes. Is that a record? Thank you to those people who rang around their mates. Thoughts on Jahan Deruvala? I think I shot him playing pool with Lando once, but I don't know any more about the fellow. Do you shoot F2? Yeah, I've answered that one before. I think I will shoot F2 this weekend. Yeah. I know that Oscar Piastri is out here with his trainer Kim Keedle. Now, Kim used to be Roman's trainer, and Kim is an Australian. He's probably the tallest trainer that's in the paddock. And I also was introduced to Lirum today. Do you know him? And did you see that story about Lando's management have picked up the management of a youngster out of America, Ugo, U-G-O. And I know nothing about this young fellow, but it sounds like it's quite a big story because he's 13, and McLaren have struck up some sort of deal with him where they're sponsoring him. More pics of Kimi, please. Very hard to get pics of Kimi. Yeah, Hugo, but it's without the H, isn't it? Who do you think will win this weekend? Or I think Nikita Mazepin will win, and then we'll have the drama of what national anthem to play. In fact, we were discussing that the other day. What national anthem will they play? Will they play the F1 theme? Anyway, it would be highly unlikely that Nikita's going to win a race. Everything would have to go horribly wrong in front of him to get on the podium. What happened to Lando? He said the wrong thing, apparently. Offended some people. Could you shoot on track action with a 200? Yeah, you could, if you're close enough. Or even if you're far away, you just have to have a different shot. You have to think differently. Do I think Nikita will last the entire season? Well, he's got the money to, so unless he gets kicked out for some reason, who knows? What do you think about Cyril getting sacked? Clearly the management didn't like him, so he had to go. If you had a time machine and you could take your camera with you, to which era would you travel? What, for F1? I'd probably go back to Adelaide when I was a teenager, or 20-year-old, and go along to some of those races that Senna raced at. I haven't seen Britta Rohit. I have not seen her. I did see one pic of her with Angela, and that would be the pic that I would get and use in my stories, but no, I haven't seen her. Do you think Hulk will make a return? Well, I know something about that, but I can't say anything. Favourite race to go to? Once again, Monaco. Le Mans, love the track and race. I've never been there. Any famous people in your hotel? No. Yes, I do use ND filters, and in fact I was looking at a picture the other day, and I'll show you this one because this is interesting. Am I even going to be able? Yeah, I should be able to find it. Vettel. I catalogue all my pictures, so I can go Vettel, Australian, and let's see what comes up here. Yeah, here it is. That's not bad, is it? Okay, so I'll explain this picture to you. See this one here? This picture is taken with probably a 500mm lens, and it's taken from the first corner in Melbourne. Now, the trick with that shot is you need to, I'll tell you exactly the settings I had for that, which will bore anyone who's not photography minded, but it'll intrigue others who are. I shot with a 600mm lens, and I had the shutter open for 0.4 of a second. That is a long time in F1 photography. So I have to move the camera down with the car and then at one point shake it, because I want, say, for 0.3 of a second I want the car to be perfectly followed, and for the last 0.1 of a second I want it to be wobbly, and that adds the blur around the reasonable sharpness of the car. And at 0.4 of a second you aren't going to get the car perfectly sharp unless you're the best photographer in the world. Are you in the bar? Well, it's not really a bar, it's a lobby, and there's no one here. Yeah, and I don't know which anthem. If you want to get your questions asked, because we're now up to 634 people, and I imagine that most of you are earlier in the day in Europe. That's where I think most of this audience comes from. Get onto Super Chat, and that way you jump the queue. It's a bit like being at Disney World and getting one of those ride passes that gets you to the front. Can you do a shot of vodka? Not very well. Favourite lens to shoot with? Look, it changes. Sometimes I'll tell you what, an 85mm on a sunny day with a polarizer in Austin for the USGP, I took some of the most beautiful shots against this rich blue sky, and I quite love that 85mm lens, but it's just not that versatile. Obviously, it's got to be the right lens for the shot. Why is Cyril's firing coming up now? Cyril was fired a little while ago, wasn't he? Yeah. Favourite cities in Europe? Not Belgium, not Brussels. Did not like it one bit. Favourite cities in Europe? You know, I liked Mannheim. Maybe I just stayed at a nice hotel there. Stayed at a nice hotel in Munich, but I don't think I love Munich. Nothing comes to mind as... Oh, you know what? Budapest. I like it. It's good value. Stay in a great hotel. Just lovely. Yes, I am excited, Zach, about the new season, definitely. No, I never feel lonely travelling around the world because I always meet people. And, no, I don't. And if I get bored, I will create something, whether it be a video or do something with a photo or do another book. And you can buy my F1 driver books in most countries, but unfortunately not India. And they're delivered anywhere in the world. And the thing is, they're not paper pages. These are card, and it's really a solid piece of printing. And I'll tell you the story. I saw an ad on Instagram, get a free book, a free photo book. I thought, free? Yeah, okay. You just had to pay for the postage, $10 Aussie. So I thought, yeah, why not? And I got it, and I thought, wow, that's a killer. That's way better than I thought it would be. I thought it'd be some plinky thing with paper pages. So that's why people love them, is because they're very solid and they're going to last you a lifetime, and they're beautiful pictures, and they're all yours for 89 Aussie dollars plus postage. Could you show us one of those shots? Yeah, I can, from Austin. Pedro, if you're interested enough. And you didn't even have to super chat. So I have to look up Vettel. This is a bit tricky because I sometimes put USGP and sometimes Austin. Could you just talk amongst yourselves for a second? Because this may not be as easy as I thought. Let's try one other thing. Charles. Austin, no. It stands out rather brilliantly because it is so bright. No, I can't find it because of I didn't do the keywording that well. These questions seem to disappear quickly, and I apologise if I don't get to yours, but if you definitely want to ask a question, get onto Super Chat. Are you going to Portimao? Yeah, well, I've got not flights booked, I've got accommodation booked, and I hope to be there. Let's hope everything goes to plan. Hi from Joburg. What about a future Kyalami Grand Prix? Well, I did speak to someone today, and they were suggesting that it might be on for an African race of some sort. Yeah, 70-200 f2.8 is the most stunning lens, Eden. That's the one I almost always have on me. And my second camera will either have a longer lens or a shorter than that, but I've always got a 70-200. You missed a super chat, rightio. Thank you for that, because I have to go back here and see if I can see it. What was I doing that I missed that? I wouldn't mind a Southern Comfort and Coke now, or an ice cream. Two things I would like. I can't find this super chat. It must have been a long time ago. Anyway, if that person just puts a very long message coming up, look, it won't show me there. My apologies. I owe you. Who's the most polite F1 driver? Pierre, Esteban, come to mind straight away. Yeah. Do you think we'll see Vietnam? Gee, I don't know. They've dipped out twice, haven't they? It's a shame because that's quite close to Australia. Southern Comfort, I drank 26 ounces. That's not good for you, Christopher. That would. I can't have any more than 3. How does one become a member? There's a join button next to the subscribe button in the countries that allow you to become members. And as I mentioned earlier on, for some reason, some countries don't allow it. How's Alto? Oh, just the most stunning bar up there. And tonight's the good music night, so I'm heading up there afterwards, I think. Too late to start karting at 15? I have no idea. Ask the karting people. I'm sure they'll take your money, though. Angela or Britta? Well, I photographed both, but I think Britta's probably got the longer history in the sport and perhaps better known. Oh, the Jeddah track. Yeah, that looks great, Grace. I'm excited by that. Ever talked to Stefano Domenicali? No, and I'm not even sure I know what he looks like. I've only taken one photo, I think, of Stefano. What else? Thank you for all these questions. It's phenomenal. Have you received a COVID? Yes, 1 of 2 shots. Second one coming next Monday. I mentioned that earlier. Please organise a meet-up. Well, we can't do that. Unfortunately, there's no upside in that, and protocol says we can't do it. So that rules out my dinners, I think, for a good part of the year. I've never had a photography lesson. Yeah, I might have had one guy come over and run through some stuff with me. But otherwise, you just press the button and you work out what the buttons do. Do I talk to any F1 wives and girlfriends? Lots of them. In fact, I've interviewed a number of them for my wives and girlfriends video, and a number of them provided me with photos. So it makes my job a lot easier when I can get photographs of them with their partners in a private setting. It makes the video much more interesting. I'm not going to answer that question because everyone keeps asking it. Who is the most willing to be photographed out of the paddock? Out of the paddock? No one runs away or anything. G'day from Romania, from Bucharest, perhaps, Stefan. Are you from Bucharest? We talked about Bucharest today with somebody. Can I go photograph with you? Are you accredited, Pedro? I wouldn't have thought so, so there's probably no chance of that. Is it morning in Bahrain? No, it is midnight nearly, I think. Have you been to Bud Circuit in India? Nope, I have not. I've lost all your questions now. Here they come. Zach's got to go to school, so thank you, Zach, for hanging around. I'm from Romania as well. I knew that, Nova. That's great news. Jesus, get some sleep. I'll get some sleep tonight. Don't you worry about that. Have you been around Bahrain? Yeah, last few times. Yeah, every time I come, or the last few times I've come, I've been able to have a look around. And there are some amazingly different areas, very modern areas. Including, Adlia, which is quite lovely, and then there's the old area behind here, Souk, the market, which has got a bit of character to it. No, Lando has never been with a female when I've been there. Oh, I did see him come in with his sister once, and in fact, then he had to take his other sister out and give her a drive in the McLaren road car that he drove in. Did you meet Lewis? What are your impressions? No, I've never met him. I think I've said one thing to him. With Lewis, there's no opportunity to get him one-on-one, and you don't want to be having a chat with someone while other photographers and video guys are taking photos. Lewis has a very definite goal to go from here to there in the shortest possible time. I don't have an employer. I would be a terrible employee, I promise you that. Have you ever seen any drivers arrive this week? Arrive where? Isn't sunset in Bahrain super early? What, about 5:30, 6 o'clock, I think? What do you think about Lando? Great kid. I like him. Great for the sport. Lovely family too. His parents and his brothers and sisters are brilliant. Any travel tips to share right now? Oh, no, I need one for tomorrow, don't I? Why don't we ever see any drivers leaving? Because we're all in there editing photos, and But you know what? I might, although that's at night now, and those photos at night, we need to use a flash. And I don't love flash photography, but who knows? Yes, I've been into the hospitality suites of lots. We get to eat in normal times. Back in the olden days, we get to eat at Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull from time to time. I've been in at Sauber, Haas I've had a meal at. Yeah, they're lovely setups. Who do you root for during races? I root for the second. I root for a close race. So if someone's way out in front, I root for the gap closing and it becoming exciting. Any more vlogs? What, around the town? No, I can't do anything. Oh yeah, I've got one coming up when I leave. I'll do one on the airport and my travels to wherever I go next, which I'm not sure. The whole thing is very fluid this year. It might be that I go to Italy next. It might be that I go to Croatia and then go to Italy. Who knows? If you want to super chat and jump the queue, please do so, because you will get my instant attention, although I apologise if I missed somebody's super chat. Isn't this a great little setup? This phone with a microphone has such a nice picture. How do you become an F1 photographer? You go onto the F1 site, FIA site, and see if you match the criteria that they're looking for at that time. I've been to Brazil 3 times. Yeah, I liked the country. Last time I'm not a fan of Sao Paulo as a city, but I did go to Rio last race in 2019 and thoroughly enjoyed it. In fact, I checked into 3 hotels in one day, and that's the first time I've ever done that. Got to one on Copacabana and got up to the room, and it hadn't been cleaned, and it was a right royal mess and highly embarrassing, and the hotel wasn't great. So we said, no, we're not staying here, and they refunded us our money. And then we went to another one on the beach at Ipanema, which was stunning, and they dicked us around for a good 2 hours. They'd taken our booking, and we just got to check, clean something and get it ready. Turns out they'd painted all of the hallway on that floor, and they were trying to air it out with fans, and when we got up there it was just an awful stench, and you couldn't stay in the room, it would kill you. So we checked out of that one, then we went to another one over at Copacabana, and we loved it. It was fantastic. The babes in Algarve were... Okay, well, shouldn't say that. Which driver do you think is going to stand out this year? Let's wait until Sunday. Let's see what happens Sunday, and we might get a taste of what the surprise packet might be. Questions have now disappeared, but yeah, this is a lovely background, I think. It's much better than my room, and the lighting's much nicer. And thank you for the 554 people still on here. Have you people not got better things to do? I do thank you for hanging around. And Toronto, Canada's with us. I can't say your name enough when someone asks me about F1. Well, Tim, hats off to you. Thumbs up to you. Doing my marketing for me. Thanks for answering, says Navac. I'm looking for the interesting questions. Yuki will be a surprise. Yeah, we're talking about that tonight. Will he give Pierre a run for his money? Once again, quali and race will give us an indication. Thoughts on Williams' new livery? I talk about the new livery in my video. It looks like 2 cars. One from the back is blue, dark. The other one from the front is white. I don't like it that much. It's not my least favourite, but I like the Ferrari red. Here we go. Folhard de Papel again. Folhard. When you come to Portugal, make sure to visit Lisbon. Well, I probably have to fly into Lisbon, I imagine. We can have a lunch at my restaurant. Well, I've got to be very careful. But thank you for the offer. I've got to eat somewhere, I guess. So, yeah, thank you for the offer. Hi from Bahrain. Oh, okay. So, Ali, you aren't 2 weeks free of having had COVID, or 2 weeks free of having your injection, because that's the criteria in order to be able to go to this race. You have to have been vaccinated 2 weeks ago from the day you go in, or have had COVID and be 2 weeks clear of it. What suggestions for a new watch collector? A Rolex, any Rolex, if you're looking for something that will give you a chance of getting your money back, or making you some money. Right, do you ever listen to a podcast or music while shooting? Not music, but I listen to the live broadcast. If I can get it on the app, on the F1 app. And it's very handy if we can get it. And it would be even nicer to be able to monitor something at the track, because then you would get no delay, because sometimes we get a 15-second delay or 10-second delay, and that's no good if they say, oh, and some car's lost its exhaust or whatever, because then if it's real time, you can then look for that car when it comes around next. But if it's a 10 or 15-second delay, it may be that you hear that and then the car's already gone past you. Do Tag Heuer watches also appreciate and value? I don't think they do. Nice watches, but they're just too many of them out there. Maybe some of their limited editions. I don't know if the drivers have to take the vaccine or not. I didn't see it. Oh, somebody's dropped a plate upstairs. I didn't see any drivers having the vaccine. I saw some team members. No, we can't live stream. We can't do any audio or video at the track. Only stills. Favourite race, German Grand Prix 2019, Sav. Has everyone in the paddock been vaccinated? I have no idea. That's a very personal thing. Nobody wears a badge, so I'm vaccinated. Right, let's wait for the questions to come back. No questions, have all disappeared. There we go. Any plans to buy a Richard Mille? No. Would you ever put a GoPro? No, I've had 4 times I've had that question tonight. No, I wouldn't put one on top because it would only take stills and they're not very good quality and I wouldn't bother. How do I feel about jumping the queue? Well, I think it's rude if somebody offers you something. In other words, they don't want you to clog up their hospital system if you happen to get this virus. If they offer it to you and they're happy to do so, and I think it's rude not to accept, quite frankly, especially I'm a guest in their country. Can you do a video on the watches of F1 drivers? Have I not done that, Axel? Go back and have a look at my watches of F1 drivers. I will be updating it this year, though. So Caitlin wants to be a wife or a girlfriend of a driver. Right. Perhaps you should start with an F2 driver and hope they get up to F1. Who knows? I don't think it's much of a relationship, quite frankly, because these guys are away for sometimes 250 nights a year. You wouldn't get to see them too much. Yes, Maxek pineapple does belong on a pizza. There is no doubt. Ever tried butter chicken? I had it the other day. Where did I have it? Upstairs here at the restaurant. Do you think Gasly will win another race this season? No, but I didn't think he'd win one last year, so what do you think? Do you think he'll win another race? I had COVID before and I was hoping to get a media pass, but I was too late and there are a limited amount of them. Yes, there are. Will you travel to Saudi? I hope to travel to all of them if I get credited for each one, because this year permanent photographers still have to apply race by race. But yeah, I've committed the whole year, and if I don't get a race, I'm going to have nothing to do and I'll be stuck overseas for a long time because it's pointless going back to Australia. The best conversationalist. Oh, it's not like you have a conversation with them. They're normally going somewhere. No, I couldn't answer that question. Do I think there'll be a female F1 driver in the near future? Not near future, in the far future. I'm so sweet for doing all this for us. Well, I've got nothing better to do at the moment, quite frankly. So this is a very good option and a most enjoyable one, because it also, to be brutally honest, gives me ammunition for upcoming YouTube videos. So I find out what is intriguing you, and then I think maybe there's a video in that, because I think 2 people contacted me about you should do something on Drive to Survive because it's red hot and topical. And it took 2 people the second person was the one that pushed me over the edge. I thought, right, I'll do it. And then the video has been one of my best of late. And it's important that I grow this channel because it's good. And I've now gone, that's way too long, 80 minutes. Has anyone been here from the start? Tell me if you've been here from the start. I will wait for your comment to come up and see what sort of delay. Yeah, I talked to Will Buxton. In fact, I text him too occasionally and ask him for information that I need. Me, Peter, you've been here. Thank you. I have Shashank, Peters, Shivam. I've seen your name a few times. Peter again. Could you do a shooting F1 cars on consumer cameras? Yeah, you could shoot them on a consumer camera, no problem at all. You just wouldn't get as many frames per second and you might not get the quality, but you could definitely shoot them. If I wasn't a photographer, what would I be doing? I'd be back running my business in Australia. Do you see any other Lewis? No. Alex in Red Bull or AlphaTauri this season? Alex in Red Bull? Is he the reserve driver for Alpha as well, is he? Do you see any other than Lewis winning the championship? Yeah. Why don't you have a look at my video tonight, Ben? It's already up on my YouTube channel. I go into some detail. And Rohit, you've got to stop doing that, mate. It's clogging up the feed here. Otherwise, you'll have to be kicked off. Let's go to the bottom here. Super Chat gets you to the top. Yes, travel tip, library, Starbucks and most cafes have free Wi-Fi. Thank you, Jamie. What is your favourite colour? Blue. Best atmosphere at a Grand Prix. Mexico in the stadium's pretty good. What else? Monaco because it's so tight. My business in Australia is messagesonhold.com.au. And Emma has been here from the start. What a champion. I wonder what you've learned, Emma. I fell into getting into F1. I just decided it might be a fun thing to do. And it has been an extreme challenge. Yeah, I did go to the Australian Open. I ambushed it once with some messages on hold signage many years ago. I take it you're talking about the Tennis Open, not the Golf Open. In fact, I've ambushed that as well, so yes, I've been to both. Never stop gaming, brother. Been to Tunisia? Never? What do you think of Mick Schumacher? He's got a tremendous future in front of him, I think. He's got some good people behind him. Have you heard about Max? Yeah, I know all that story. I don't know whether he's... Well, I know. And I know Kelly well enough to shoot her. And I've shot her at a few races and she's always a joy to photograph. What do you think of the Dutch Grand Prix? Well, I know that we're having one and I'll be very keen to get there and see what it's like with that banked turn. Are the pit crew also staying in Bahrain? I don't know what they're doing. They spread around. I don't know. I imagine some of them would be here. What are we, Monday? Yeah, I imagine some of them be here setting up again. All-time best watches of F1 drivers. Not the Casios of the AlphaTauri. I think those poor buggers, they get the raw end of the deal when they see some of their counterparts wandering around with $1 million watches on and they've got a few $100 watch on. You know what? They both tell the time though, and the Casio will tell better time than any wind-up, manually wound automatic watch, because that's just the case. How did I feel when Australia's race was postponed? Yeah, it was always going to be postponed. There was no way they could have it. Absolutely no way. Hello from Denmark. I've had a couple of Denmark people tonight. How many white shirts did you pack? I packed 5 and I got 3 black ones and that's it, and a long sleeve shirt. What time during the race do you get the best pictures? There's no time. It's not time sensitive. How many F1 people got vaxxed? I don't know. The day I was there was a steady stream, that's for sure. Casio, LMAO, yeah. Is Coda a good track to shoot at? No, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Except that one, no, there's a couple of shots that I adore. The Cresta with the big tower in the background at the far end of the track, I like that one. Yeah, some other nice shots. But I like going to tracks where I know there's a shot that I can get like this track here, turn 4, the ones I did the other day with the palm trees in the background. I just discovered that, and I know that shot now is easy to get, but it's knowing where to go. Once I know where to go, I can normally get a good shot. But that's where the really great photographers have it over me, is that they can see an opportunity, they can see a shot, and obviously they can take that shot. We'll go another 12 minutes, maybe 11 and a half. We'll see what happens. Yes, I'm excited about shots in Portugal and also Imola, because there's some lovely forests around it. And I understand now we can go onto the track for the driver's track walk, which is good. I thought we had to stay behind the barriers, and that's never much of an option. The vibe at American and European races. I don't know how I'd sum up the difference there. I don't know. Do I think Verstappen will win? Yeah, I said that today in my video. Ricky, you're an idiot. Is it possible to vlog your experience? No, it's not. How many shots on average on a race day? I normally take about 4,000 a day to come up with 1,000 at the end. Hello from Namibia, Larissa. Where will Aston Martin finish? I don't know, but we'll know at some point this year, probably end of mid-December. Yeah, I want a German GP this year, and I want it back at Hockenheim, because I quite like that track. And I liked all the action on the wet day. Okay. Amiga watches, I think I only like one that's got an orange band. But yeah, and then they've got a good heritage with James Bond too. Thank you, Peter, for loving my videos. Hello from Bangladesh. Nice. What size SD cards? Oh, okay, the SD cards in my cameras are 512 gig, and they are every bit of 600 Australian dollars, which is about 400 euros for the memory card, and you need 2. And I've got 2 cameras, and I need 1 backup, so that's 2,500 Australian dollars for memory. I like the AlphaTauri. I don't like saying AlphaTauri, it's alien to us, as is Alpine. Do you say Alpine, Europeans? Or do you say Alpine? Because us Australians and Americans and Brits would pronounce Alpine. I didn't know anything about Seb going to Aston Martin. That was all very hush-hush for me. But I wasn't at the tracks last year, so I got no gossip, I got nothing. Spa or Silverstone? Spa by a mile. I can't stand the accommodation options around Silverstone. There's nothing that I get excited about. There's not much more at Spa either, pretty much, but the countryside is beautiful. The track's lovely. Paddock's over 2 levels too, which is the only, I'm pretty sure it's the only over 2 level paddock. Hola to you. So quick, these questions. Here's a super chat, and I nearly missed that one. Andre Gant, thank you, from the United States of America. And I must apologise to the US followers here, because I often say America, because in Australia we know the USA as America, but I often get told off. No, we're not America. America's a big continent. It's a force of habit. Someone's a hardcore fan of Aston Martin. Good on you. Looks like an Indian name there. Yes, and we get the message now, Anil, so no more of that. Enjoying your time there, Kim? Yeah, I enjoy being back at F1. I just didn't relish the idea of having a whole 10, 11 days off. I've done my season predictions, Microsoft. Have a look, I posted it tonight. It's a good video. Do feel safe so close to the cars? Yeah, supremely safe in the tunnel, no problem. Spain, Dominic. Hello, Dominic. I do like Barcelona. Track's a bit daggy and old. Could do with a bit of a spruce up. Could you sort that out for us by the time we get there? Couple more minutes to go, and any more super chats? Right, I'll take one more super chat, and a couple of you have not joined up as members yet, and if you have the opportunity, you should do that because I'm going to do some extra special things for you, and you already get some wallpapers, and I know people love the high quality wallpapers, which I'm happy to do. Okay, thank you, Jamie. Thanks for coming. Good night. Who else is leaving us? Spa or Suzuka? I love the Suzuka track, I really do, but once again, the accommodation around Suzuka is horrendous. Horrendous. Thank you, Natalia, for your enthusiasm for these. I will do, I think, at least one a week. Do you colour correct? I edit every picture that every picture I take I edit. Do something minor to, even if it's just putting on one of my presets. And you can buy my presets at kimillman.com, and I think it's Turbo, the one called Turbo. I use that on every single photo, and that's the starting point. And it just takes a flat photo and makes it pop instantly, and then I go from there. Why is the Turkish GP not on the calendar? I can't answer that. Yes, I know mirrorless gets 30 frames a second, which is actually more than video, because video is 24 frames a second. Thank you very much to Jamie Wakahemi. Is that a New Zealand name? You are a VIP, and you get your little emoji badge, so you stand out. You go to the top of the class. Thank you for that. Download those wallpapers too. Best accommodation. Singapore's fantastic. This is fantastic here. What else? Melbourne, fantastic. Got to go through all the tracks in my head. I stay at the... favourite circuit, I've done that. This stream goes up afterwards, yes. This goes up as a video that you can watch if you wish. Right, if there are no more super chats, I'm going to say good night. Any more super chats? No? So now I'll say good night to you, and I'll post this so you can go back and, if you wish, I don't know why you go back and have a look at it if you've been on here. But it's been a joy talking to you all, and I wish you a good evening from